Michelle said we have extra signs. We have a raffle going on. The big wooden flag was made by Michael and Michelle. That is part of the raffle. Some t-shirts and stuff like that. We have a couple other people who will be speaking a little bit later on. I'll be speaking again later on. And yeah, we're just gonna have a good time, share support, and yeah. Okay.
Yeah! Okay, so we have never done this before on a sound system or anything, so please forgive if we seem to not have a whole lot to say. So, again, we have the raffle if you guys would like to take part in that. The proceeds from that will go right back into our police force. Again, we are just community members who have gotten together who want to make sure that our police are supported and that our voice is heard, because I think that a lot of what we're seeing and hearing on the media is the other side, and they have every right to be able to protest, but what they cannot do is riot and destroy our cities. So we are here to let people know that without our police, without those law enforcement officers, and there my phone is ringing, we cannot have law and order, and that they are getting away with things that aren't okay in our city and that we're not okay with it. That we have a First Amendment right of freedom of speech, and that is perfectly fine, but when it goes past freedom of speech to destroying our businesses, throwing rocks, water bottles, screaming in the faces of our officers, hitting them with bats, we're not okay with that. And sometimes we don't always know what we can do as the public. Sometimes I know that before this I thought, I'm just one person. How can I make a difference? Well, this is how we can make a difference. Getting like-minded people together and being a louder voice for those who cannot speak right now. Do you guys know that our police officers and law enforcement pretty much have no freedom of speech? That they have to abide by what the cities and their sheriff's departments and the state patrol say they can and cannot say while wearing that uniform. And that is because they need to be an unbiased opinion, because they're not out there saying, I'm going to choose what person I save. They get a phone call to 911. 911, what's your emergency? I have an emergency. They don't sit there and wonder if that person is male or female, what religion they are, what color they are, whether they're rich or they're poor. You know what they do? They get in their squad car. They say, I got this, I'm on my way. And they go in there and they defend the defendless. And that's why we are here, because they've been able to take that away from them. And so many times, if the other side would just be quiet for a little bit, they'd be able to see that we all want the same thing. We want everybody to matter. We want human life to matter. And that is what matters, is human life. We are one race, the human race. It doesn't matter where you've come from. It doesn't matter what color skin you are. It doesn't matter what religion, what sexual orientation you are. It doesn't matter if you live in Seattle, if you live in Washington, D.C., New York, Tennessee, L.A. We are American. We are here to stand strong for other human life. And that's what matters. And so we need to be a voice for those who cannot speak right now. And I thank you again for everyone being out here and supporting us. You can go to Back the Blue Washington on Facebook and join the Facebook group that has like-minded individuals. That is also where you will find event information. We also have a sign-up sheet if you'd like to put your name and email address on there. As we go through this fun process of becoming a nonprofit, you will get updates on how that is going and what we are doing to support our communities and our law enforcement and our heroes. And the wind is taking everything everywhere. You can also follow Peninsula LEO Support and Events. That is another group that is over on the Kitsap Peninsula, Olympic Peninsula area. We just had a huge family event where we did a thing for kids. We had a dunk tank. We had the bomb squad out there with the bomb robot. We had Washington State Patrol. We had Fish and Wildlife out there as well with their boat and their ATV. We had a lot of fun things for the community and the kids. We did a big raffle and things because right now we are suffering in Washington and we are having a hard time not being able to fellowship with each other. So this is also why we're doing this, so that we can come together and be together. And obviously we want to be safe, so thank you so much for thinking about that and thinking about the other people who you might go home to, who might, be a little bit more susceptible. So thank you again for taking that into consideration. So I know that we have lots of people from different areas here. Thank you for those who came from far away, Eastern Washington. We've got some from up north. We've got some all the way over on the Olympic Peninsula. So again, thank you so much. We have little tiny flags for sale. We have pins for sale for $1. And again, all of those proceeds go back into our law enforcement. We will have a couple of special guest speakers that will be here. But right now, what we want to be is loud and proud. So let's go ahead and start letting the world know that we are here to defend our law enforcement. And without them, we are not able to have peace. So get your flags up, your signs up, and hoop and howl if you want to. Otherwise, just wave them and let's have a great time. Thank you again for being here, and we're going to try and figure out if we can get some music going.
Hey, it's Adam Bartholomew here, coming live from the Defend the Police rally.
You guys are more than welcome if you want
Greenlake
to
right now.
walk
Get down
around,
here. There's going to be some
march
great speakers.
together, but
and be
please,
sure to like my page.
just
Thanks.
again for safety situations and everything, try and stay in groups of at least 2, because unfortunately there are possible counter protests that may put. Yeah, y'all are dumb. So please try and stay together. Find a buddy. Everybody needs a buddy. All right. Thanks, guys. And we will let you know when our next speakers come in.
Well, I think it's people worried about the weather, but I went to the big national one, which is yeah, it wasn't too big a crowd. I was actually out kind of mingling a little bit.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. We are live here in Greenlake Park at the Back the Blue Defend the Seattle Police event. If you're not on the way here, you need to get in your car and get down here. This event is going to be great. There's going to be some speakers coming up. And if you've got a minute, please like my page, facebook.com/Adam4Wa. I'm running for office in the 1st Legislative District, and I need your support. And you can easily support my campaign by liking my page. If you can get out here, please get down and join the event. Otherwise, share this live stream in a group or on your own page. I would really appreciate the exposure so we can help get more people to my Facebook page and get the word out for my campaign. Thanks for tuning in. Just do a little pan out. There's a lot of people here. The crowd's starting to gather. The local Antifa Twitter accounts have tweeted out this event about 80 times to encourage people to come out and counter-protest. So if you're available, if you're in the Seattle area, please come out and join our event. Show your support for the police. Now more than ever, we need to back the blue and defend our police officers and stop the defunding from our radical socialist city council here in Seattle.
This is a peaceful protest. They didn't do anything wrong. Oh, that's right. That's not the truth. You perfectly lie. Watch you lie.
Are you Jason?
No, I'm Adam.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you look similar.
To who?
Jason Grant?
Oh, I admire that guy for sure.
Yeah.
No, my name's Adam. I'm running for office in the 1st Legislative District for the state house.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
First in the 1st District for State Representative Position 1.
Okay.
Adam Bartholomew.
Okay. Stand for Second Amendment rights?
I do. I stand for our Second Amendment, and I think we need to defend our police, and I think they need more funding, not less. We need more specialized training. People need to step up and defend our police. It's the police
and
is
they
what
need to stop being soft on crime.
exactly.
Here. It is
Yep.
crazy.
I think we need to unleash them and let them do their job.
Yeah.
When I tried to have a conversation with him. Now I'm blocking you. Now you're streaming me live and putting my life in danger.
Apparently, we are putting this woman's life in danger by streaming her live. I thought I disagreed with this lady, but I actually have to say I agree with her. The press in Seattle is extremely biased. The Seattle Times is extremely biased.
You purposely hide their faces.
I've seen it
Purposely
too.
hide their faces.
I've seen it
But
too.
you're not gonna hide my face. You're gonna put me right in front of everyone. Cut them out.
Fake news is gonna fake. We know it.
Started to say before someone come up that we were going to go ahead and start talking over the music. So there is approximately maybe 40 people here, and right now I'm the center of attention. So it'll be real easy for me to just kind of spin around and show the size of the crowd.
Just look like 40 people.
And it is a relatively small group at this time. I also know that Katie Daviscourt is here because Katie, or at least I believe she's here. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Katie Daviscourt is here because somebody walked by and said hi, and I kind of looked up, and I was kind of sure that it was Katie that was the individual over here. This is somebody that uses a lot of our content.
Could it be here at 1?
It was an interesting interaction.
Maybe probably leaving by 1 way.
Oh, because putting the money in the raffle.
No, I guess
But
we can hang out, yeah.
Well, they said if we couldn't be here, they'd call us.
And of course,
Cool.
Put our name.
people who watch the streams know that I've been called out on the other side. People who say all I show is bad shit. So all they show is bad things, and all they show is the bad things that happen. It's interesting because there's never And the group is growing slowly, and I suspect it will continue to grow as they're 30 minutes past the time. We're about 30 minutes past the time. And again, as I was starting to say earlier,
So we had a fantastic idea from one of our helpers. Would anybody like to come up here and say why the police are important to them, or what it kind of means to you to be out here and why you want to be out here? You don't have to say your name, it's totally fine, but if you would like to do that, just come and see Michelle. The loud one over here at the raffle table. So if you'd like to do that, then just come find me. No, that's totally fine. And we have a mask on. Yep, and we have hand sanitizer on there by Mr. Nana if you'd like to use it out. Thank you.
Hi. I normally don't speak to the public, so I did write a little something because I'm very concerned with the direction of this city, like all of you are. I live in South Seattle, by the way, District 2. When I think about the word police, the first thing that comes to my mind is respect. The second, honor. I'm grateful for all of our officers who protect our city and its residents and businesses. I would like to tell you a story. In 2018, November, my neighbor's home was robbed. The person had a gun. The perpetrator had a gun. They aimed it at her as she was coming home, and they were exiting with the goods that they were able to gather. She called the SPD. They came within 2 minutes, had a K9 with them, and they found the gentleman who robbed the items. We consoled her. We're so grateful. I live over the Jose Rizal Bridge, gateway to South Seattle, and there's a lot of crime in that area. If you looked up the records, you'd see tons of crime on South Weller and 12th Avenue South area, that location. We witnessed many incidents in that area. I have myself 3 unsanctioned encampments on my street and many more down the road. I went to go for a walk to Leshai on the Mount Sound Bike Trail this week, and there was a guy who was obviously either going through a mental issue or having a drug-induced scenario where he's flailing his arms, blocking this small path about this size, and there's a retaining wall on one side and house fences on the other. And I thought, no, not going to walk to Leshai. And it's very sad that we can't do these things in our city. Instead, I walked up to Jefferson Park, which is beautiful, and that street and that area is still okay to walk, but it's sad that we have to worry about those things. Over the past 4 years, we've seen our city become more violent and dilapidated due to the increased relaxed laws and turnstile justice system, where many offenders are tossed back out onto the street to commit again. This requires the attention of our already understaffed police force. A lot has changed in Seattle, and a lot has to change. People and businesses do not feel safe. Employees and businesses do not feel safe. This city council, who makes haphazard choices and continues along with Pete Holmes, the Seattle city attorney, to put citizens from the marginalized to the middle class and all others, including businesses and their employees, at risk every day. It's terribly sad when leadership thinks grown men with their pants down or no pants at all, no underwear. This summer I saw this, I can't tell you how many times, downtown on Rainier Avenue. I'm just driving to do my normal shopping, getting groceries, and I've seen so many half-naked from the waist down men who obviously are in some sort of crisis. And this city does nothing. I am so grateful I don't have small children, small 4-year-old girl that has to see this in our city and on our streets. And I'm sure others here who are from Seattle have seen this. You could not have. I've seen it so many times. My neighbors and I have seen a ton of first responder action, especially, as I said, in the area of South Weller, South Seattle, Rainier Avenue. We all in Seattle see needles on our playgrounds, in our school parks. I live on Beacon Hill. We have this issue all over the city, not just where I live. We have needles on the streets. I saw needles on the Mountain to Sound bike trail, a ton of them, about 5 or 6, just in the middle of a bike trail. I wouldn't even want to ride my bike on that trail for fear that one of those might pop up back at me if my tire goes on it a certain way. A message to the local leadership: let's stop virtue signaling. This is not a movie or a video game. This is our lives and our livelihoods. Stop with the excuses. Stop pointing fingers. Stop normalizing violence, destructive actions and destruction and harmful behavior. Please start actually taking action to protect our communities and all of its residents and businesses. Empower your officers. Work to recruit more officers from the areas that they serve. I was taught growing up to respect officers and first responders who put their lives on the line every day for the citizens in the area and businesses that they serve. I do not respect this non-performing city council, nor the city's leadership. They've done nothing but make citizens feel unsafe and ignore businesses' complaints year over year. And I don't want my tax dollars for the home that I own to go to the way they're looking to fund it. I want to fund the Seattle police. If anything, we need more police. Including the navigation team comprised of social workers and officers. We do not want to defund. From 2016 till now, the city has rapidly degraded. This is due to the local leadership. I am so concerned that I listed my house for sale in August of this year. It's still listed, and I can't wait for someone to buy it because I don't feel safe. It's very sad. I worked hard all my life as a single mom with 2 kids who are adults now. I chose Seattle as the place that I decided to purchase and buy a home as an investment. And I see that investment going south if the city's direction keeps going in the direction it is. It's a very sad state. And I can't take another year of giving my property tax dollars to a continually mismanaging city council and leadership to make poor choices, causing my surroundings to rapidly decay. Look around. We need to have police. We need to have appropriate funding to ensure the safety and security of all of the citizens of this city. If we don't take action and the silent majority does not speak out like me and speak up, we can lose this once vibrant city we love called Seattle. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for allowing me to publicly speak.
That is what our city needs to hear. That is what they need to know, is that this is affecting everyone. It's not just affecting some, but it's affecting everyone. So we have a couple more people who would like to speak. I've got a gal, and I'm going to read her testimony that she wrote. So give me just a second so I can grab that.
Hey, Katie, good to see you.
So this is homeless people need tough love. Right now, the city council is deciding whether to override the mayor's veto and dismantle the city's navigation team as part of the budget cuts they approved earlier this year. If they do that, what will it mean for this city's homeless population? The city did override the mayor's veto and is proceeding with the cuts to the police, including the navigation team. We share the story of one former homeless person on the streets of Seattle and her thoughts on police defunding. In 2014, due to severe depression, I ended up homeless and was going to commit suicide. But being that I am still here, as you can see, God had other plans for me. For a while, I lived on the streets. I'm so sorry, I just moved the phone really far. Okay. And in my car, God then brought me to a place called Valley Cities, and they helped me to work really hard on my mental health. After that, I found a place called Union Gospel Mission, which was a great place with wonderful people. However, their programs are geared towards drugs and alcohol, not mental health. So I ended up leaving their program and went to a shelter called Kent Hope. From there, I went to Hospitality House, then to a transitional housing program called Jubilee Women's Center, and finally to a permanent low-income house called Broadway House. While on that journey, Valley Cities introduced me to a group of people called peer support specialists. These are people who have been through the same thing as others, like myself, and I ended up getting a full-time job with them. I decided I wanted to be a peer support specialist and to work with the homeless and help them get off the streets. However, while I was training for that, some brain tumors were discovered in my head, and I ended up with 2 brain surgeries, which led to severe depression again. I'm just now starting to come out of the depression and found Elevation Church and this Facebook group called Juggling Jenkins. The Juggling Jenkins group helps me with the addiction stuff in my family. My current goal is to get back into my peer support training, which starts in October. There's a lot of training you have to do, and then I have to become state certified. I would love to eventually work for Valley Cities. I would also love to open a faith-based treatment center for mental health. Now I hear all this talk on defunding the police. As a former homeless person in Seattle, let me say, that would not help the homeless population. It would actually make it worse. There is a certain respect that homeless people have for police officers that they would not have for a social worker. A homeless person is more likely to listen to SPD than a social worker, and the truth is that sometimes homeless people need tough love. That is what cops give. After that, it is up to the system to follow through with that tough love. I personally don't know what that tough love is because I chose to change my own and found the resources to make that change, but I know many others who do. In the end, change happens within, not outside in. So thank you so much for that, and that is an incredible, amazing testimony. Thank you so much. So we have okay, we're gonna take a little bit of break so y'all don't get all the feels right away. and start crying because I'm about to. And we are going to go ahead and just wave your flags, say hello to each other, and again, be safe. I'm going to play some music. We've got our raffle over here to the left. Our big raffle item is the American flag, which was made by MV Custom Flags. You can find us on Facebook. You can order your own. We do all kinds of flags. We do the American flag, military, police, any specialty unit, as well as firefighters and things of that nature. It is all hand done and hardwood. And then we have two other raffle groupings of a wonderful support our police flag, or excuse me, shirt. I'm gonna start screaming if I get too close. We've got a lanyard, we have a mask, we've got a pin and a sticky notepad. So if you guys would like to enter that raffle, it is $5 for one raffle ticket, 5 tickets for $20. All of the proceeds for this go to our law enforcement. We also have little blue line flags that you can wave up here for $2 and pins for $1. And you don't have to have cash. We do have a card reader. So we came prepared, sort of. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to come up here and talk to me, Michelle, or Savannah, and we will help you out. Thank you again for everyone being here. We will be here until 2 o'clock. So we have more fun coming. Thanks, guys.
Okay, the problem is when I am running.
What up, Dana? POWs. Probably something to do with people that are, it says death by gunfire. It's probably officers.
Yeah. I learned something. More than ankle socks. And I'm sorry, this is your caprice will be fine.
Antifa press corps is here. There we go. You're live. Dana's watching. Got some more speakers coming up. They're also doing some fundraising events for their nonprofit. I think I'll get on stage here in a little bit, say a few words to defend our police. We need to step up and defend our police now more than ever. We see the destruction in our city, see the homeless encampments, and the police have been told to stand down while the city decriminalizes prostitution on Highway 99, just a few feet up the hill there. As soon as they did that, the prostitutes increased tenfold. They're all over the place. And that's the kind of stuff that happens when we take away the police. Needles everywhere. There's homeless encampments just outside of Greenlake here, covered with litter, drugs. Hey Beth.
Hey. Hey, if you get video of me, can you send me?
Sure.
Thank you.
Definitely. When are you going up?
I'll ask.
Okay. Jan. Hey Beth, you want to talk to the live stream for a minute about your campaign?
Sure.
This is Beth. She's running for
State representative in the 46th district, position 2.
46th district. Where's that at?
So that's northeast Seattle, Lake Forest Park, and Kenmore.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for stepping up.
Yeah.
What are you? Why are you here to back the blue today?
Well, you know what? It's so important. We need to feel safe as citizens. People who are law-abiding, no matter who you are, you need to feel safe. And the only way we can be safe is to have people that enforce it. When we have people that are violent, when we have people who, take other people's property, we need to have the police. And we need to have the police. We know there's always a need for the police, and we have more need. We are understaffed in Seattle.
We are.
And so we need more police, not less. And we need to keep up the training so that they don't have unnecessary force or unnecessary violence, of course. And that's with good training, and that takes money.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to keep up the funding to do that. And we need to support them because we know they work in very difficult circumstances. with the worst in our society, unfortunately.
Yep.
And they see the ugliest things. So we need to give them support and thank them for all the good work they do, and for the few that do wrong. Of course, we just keep them accountable.
Somebody commented here and said defund doesn't mean take away the police. It means to reallocate their funding and to reform the police. What do you think about that?
Well, the city council is taking money and putting it in entirely untested groups, an entirely untested model. You know, if you want to put some money into some new models and try them and test them and check out the social workers and try that new system, let's do that. And let's see if after 6 months or a year, if we need less police. Okay, but we're already understaffed. So taking away police funds to do that is the wrong entirely.
Yeah, I think more specialized training means more funding to me.
Right. And you know, I just called in a guy with a long machete, threatening and yelling at people outside of Bartels in Lake City this week. It was pretty scary. And I was thankful that there was police to show up and take the machete away from the guy. It made everyone feel safer, because you know, that kind of thing unfortunately is happening too much, and we need more mental health. And I'm disappointed in the city and the state that has not funded mental health enough, and it's not making a difference in mental health. When we know we have huge drug problem, huge mental health problem on the Seattle streets, and leadership is not doing anything about it.
True. Well, thank you. Thank you, Beth. We got local Turning Point activist, Turning Point USA representative here, Katie Daviscourt. She's live on screen, holding that back the blue sign. Looks like Jason Rance is here.
We just had our Seattle.
Oh yeah?
Did you guys have any problems?
Thank you.
Walking around?
I was just telling such a
Yeah, what happened?
But I was thinking that in the beginning because I was watching what was going on in China back in like December, January.
All right, guys, we are going to have a couple more speakers now. So let us welcome our next speaker, who's going to tell us a little bit about what this means to her and how she loves her police.
They're brainwashed.
Hi, I'm Beth Durancion, and you know, thank you. A couple months ago, I helped co-host a rally with Yana downtown in City Hall because we have been silenced too much, and we need to speak up. Jason Rance said, you know, the silent majority needs to stop being silent. He said it better than that. I forget the. But, you know, we do. We have to speak up. Even if there's cost, even if there's threat, we have to speak up because we're in danger. Seattle Police is already underfunded. We all know that. City council members won their re-election based on promising new funding for police, for more police, because we need that. You know, I am so dismayed by all the elected officials that have refused to denounce violence against police. We've had dozens of police violently assaulted and injured, and no city official, to my knowledge, no state official, the ones that should care about law and order, about protecting and defending the laws, have spoken up. They've not said it is wrong to assault police. It's wrong to throw concrete at them. It's wrong to throw explosives at them. Those are all wrong, period. That's not peaceful protest. There is lots of room for peaceful protest, and I'm for the First Amendment, period. But the First Amendment says it's the right of the people to peaceably assemble. You can yell, you can have signs, you can be mad at people, but you need to be peaceable. And when we've seen over and over it's not peaceable, and there's no excuse for that. Here we are, we're peaceful. We're saying lots of things, we're expressing our anger, our disgust, our fear, but we're doing it peacefully, and that's what needs to be done. We need to defend the police because, you know, we have too few police, and there's too many violent things, violent incidents happening around Seattle, especially with police taken away by nightly protests that often turn violent. There's less police available. You know, I just called the police on a man with a machete, yelling and threatening and waving the machete at people outside of Artels in Lake City this week. That was pretty scary, and I was thankful that there were police to come and remove the machete and remove the threat. But we all know we need the police, and we also know, if we really think about it, the police have a terribly hard job. They work with some of the worst people. You know, if there's a murderer out there, if there's a rapist out there, domestic violence, some really ugly situations, and they have to go in and deal with them to protect the vulnerable. Who do you think is hurt the most when there are less police? It's women, it's children, it's people in high crime neighborhoods. People in high crime neighborhoods say they want more police, not less. It's not fair to take away police, take away their protection, and let whatever drug lords or whoever take over their neighborhood. We saw what happened when the police moved out of Chalk and Chaz. There were 2 homicides of teenagers, black teenagers. That was awful. And that's what happens more and more when you take away the police. So this is just an encouragement. I'm running for office in Seattle. It's kind of crazy. I'm running as a Republican in Seattle. Thank you. And I'm running to make a difference. I'm running in the 46th district, position 2, which is Northeast Seattle, Lake Forest Park, and Kenmore. And I'm not going to make it about politics, but I think you need to keep your politicians accountable. All of them, from the governor on down. They need to be accountable for how they react to violence in our streets, to lawlessness in our streets, to the issue of defunding, because the state legislature will move forward. The current one-party state legislature, one-party dominated state legislature, will move forward to defund the police and take away power from the police if they are reelected, and that will start in January. We need to make a difference. Donate to your candidates. Donate to candidates who stand up for the police. Donate to candidates who want to have law and order applied to all. I want justice for all. And I especially want to protect the vulnerable. And we all need protection. We all deserve protection. And we all deserve elected officials who support that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I heard there's somebody here from the Safe Seattle, but unfortunately I don't know your name because Fabulous. So David is going to come. He is from the Safe Seattle page. If you guys are not a part of that, it's an amazing page on Facebook that is really for the Seattle citizens and what is going on and the truth beyond the media. So thank you, David, for being here. And do you want the microphone?
Thanks. I would appreciate it if people could move in a little bit. I don't like the feeling of like standing above y'all. Thank you. So, the theme of my remarks here today is why we need police. And I'll give you a spoiler here. It's to protect our First Amendment rights, our freedom of speech and our freedom of assembly. What we're doing here right now wouldn't really happen. You couldn't do this consistently without the police. Now, I noticed here today that it's a very nice crowd. Antifa is somewhere in the vicinity. They're off a ways though, and this is the way it should be. They can have their event somewhere, and we can have our event somewhere. We can come together occasionally, peacefully, and hash out our issues. But when people are threatening each other, that's no good. Free speech, free assembly means nothing in contexts like that. So, our free speech and assembly is written in the Constitution. It's part of the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment. That's how important it is. That's how important it was to the founders. They put it right there, number one. The Bill of Rights guarantees our freedom of speech and assembly, but it's the rule of law that upholds those rights. And it's the police who uphold the rule of law. Because without the police, who's going to come here and protect your right to speak freely? Is it going to be some council member? Is it going to be some social worker? No. Ultimately, it's the police who protect that. And I know that for a fact because I've seen it in action. The previous two rallies, Back the Blue rallies that I've been at, there was a large cordon of police around our folks. And on the other side of the street, there were some really angry-looking protesters. And if it hadn't been for the cops there in between us, those protesters would have come over and totally disrupted our event. They would have suppressed our freedom of speech. So let me tell you a little bit more about what I do for freedom of speech. I'm an admin for the Safe Seattle page on Facebook. Has anybody here been on that page or heard about it?
Yeah!
Good. So there's a lot of me on that page, I'll admit it, but it's mostly a place where people can tell their stories. It's a page that's devoted to public safety and good government. But the reason why it exists and the reason why it's so popular, why we have nearly 17,000 regular followers, is because people in Seattle feel like they need to have a place where they can go to talk about what's been happening to them, what's been happening in their neighborhood. If they have some criticism of people in government, that's where they can go and do it safely. And we allow them to do that by letting them be anonymous. So they don't have to use their real name if they have a story to tell. They're not allowed to just say anything they want with impunity. If they make a claim, a fact, I have to know them personally. I have to meet them, speak with them. I have to trust them before I will post their information. That way we know that they're not just going to tell tall tales or defame other people. But then in exchange for that, we give them anonymity so they can say what they're not allowed to say or what they don't feel safe to say in other places. And that's why it's such a popular page. But since I've been managing that page, I've seen a degradation of free speech right. I've seen people become more and more afraid. I've been with the page 4.5 years, and in that time, I see a lot more people saying, I have something I want to share with you, but I absolutely can't put my name on that, because if I put my name on it, then my neighbors are going to find out about it, and they're going to dox me. They're going to splash my name all over social media, and then my friends aren't going to talk to me. maybe I'm going to get fired. I can't do it. And while when I started 4 years ago, there was a little bit of that, but now it's just constant. So I always assume that a person wants anonymity unless they specifically say otherwise. That's just our default. It's like, we're not going to put your real name on it. We might use a pseudonym, whatever. It might change some of the details so people can't identify you, but that's what we have to do. In addition to what I've seen on the page, I see people's First Amendment rights slipping in public. I see minority voices, dissonant voices being shouted down in public meetings. I've heard people say, I don't even want to go to City Hall anymore because they're not going to let me speak anyway. I'll put my name on the list. 2 hours, 3 hours later, maybe I'll get a chance to speak for a minute. And I know the City Council is going to ignore what I say. So that's not free speech. That's not freedom of assembly. It's just in name only, but it doesn't mean anything. I've seen moderate and dissonant voices ignored by the media. We hear constantly from Safe Seattle readers this comment: why isn't this in the news? Why am I not seeing this story on TV? There's like a homeless camp that's really a headquarters for criminal activity. It's been there for months. People all around the camp are getting stuff stolen. Why do I not see this in any news stories? We see people being shunned by businesses who are afraid of boycotts if they host an event where there's going to be some criticism of the status quo. There was a documentary a couple years ago called Seattle is Dying. I'm sure that many of you have heard of that. It was by Como, right? A mainstream media organization. And yes, it was controversial because it talked about a lot of the problems that were occurring in Seattle. But it was the type of thing that people felt, well, we can discuss this at least, can't we? We should be able to have a public forum on this to decide whether this is an accurate representation of what's happening in Seattle. So there was a forum set up at a cafe in Wallingford, a cafe pub in Wallingford. And there were like 4 or 5 speakers from both sides of the issue. But it had to be canceled at the last minute because the pub was afraid of boycotts. So that's not free speech. That's not freedom of assembly. A friend of mine, Ari Hoffman, was running for city council in 2019, and a fundraising event that he had planned for months in advance was canceled at the last minute because the restaurant where it was to be held had been threatened with boycotts. So again, it's just like one thing after another, and I see it every single day. People say, I can't speak up, I can't say what I like to say, I can't even admit how I feel to my neighbors because I'm afraid that there's going to be retaliation against me. So, like I said, Safe Seattle has become a refuge for these people because they can come on and have some anonymity. They're not going to suffer retaliation. But even so, we've seen the First Amendment rights of our readers slipping steadily. About a year ago, some group that claimed to be associated with Antifa went around and took screenshots of people who were commenting on our page with their real names, and then tried to organize a campaign of intimidation against them, talking to their employers, trying to get them fired. They would say, hey, do you know that this person is a top fan of Safe Seattle, this employee of yours? Is that really somebody you want working for you? We had organized attacks on the page. They're called brigade attacks, where a whole bunch of people will report your page at the same time, trying to get Facebook to shut you down. And it doesn't have to be legitimate. It just has to be widespread, where you have like 100 people all reporting your page at the same time to Facebook saying, oh, State Seattle's using offensive language, they're harassing me and my friends. Fortunately, none of those movements succeeded. None of those brigade attacks shut us down because we were very well prepared for that, and we're very careful about about our guidelines, our rules of etiquette, and so forth. But they tried, and when they fail with State Seattle, they will succeed with other pages. I've seen that happen. There have been complaints filed against police officers with the Office of Police Accountability just for commenting on our page. It could be a really neutral comment. It could be like a thumbs up to a story about police. And those will trigger a complaint by people who want to shut us down, a complaint against the officer who makes that comment. And even if the complaint is not justified, it's not upheld, it takes 6 months to process. So if you file an OPA complaint against an officer, even if it's totally bogus, that officer is in the wind for 6 months. They can't transfer out. So that's a real threat. And that keeps officers from using their real name on our page. Whenever we get anonymous contribution from a police officer who wants to tell us about some aspect of their daily experience, we have to be extra careful so that none of the details they give us can be traced back to them, because it could be their job. That's how serious this problem is. In the wake of George Floyd's death, the enemies of the First Amendment have become emboldened. They stage protests, sometimes violent protests, in which people are afraid to even venture out on the street and confront them. People are afraid to take pictures of property destruction on their own property, because the protesters will confront them and say, oh, you're putting us at risk. You're trying to get us in trouble with the police. So, I'm not sure the protesters understand really what's going on here. They think they're in the right, but really they're working against the Constitution. It is perfectly legal to take pictures in a public forum. It's like, you folks are taking my picture now, I got my mask on, I'm not afraid. That's your right, and I would never try to take that right away from you. And I don't want you or your supporters to ever try to take that right away from me. This is a two-way street. Did any of you see that live stream that Randy Cruz did at CHOP? Where a bunch of the anarchists there were following her around and threatening her, menacing her, making some very ugly comments about her. She tried to leave at one point, and they wouldn't even let her do that. They were blocking her off. And like, she's a name brand reporter. So think about that a second. If somebody like Randy Cruz is afraid to report on a situation, what does that say about everybody who's less well known than her? Just your average Joe on the street who wants to like go live stream for himself.
We're still going to make that.
Businesses are being targeted for vandalism, and they're being targeted for very specific reasons. If there's a business that has opposed the violent protests in some way, or a business that the protesters have identified as being against their cause, they'll single it out for property damage and vandalism. There's a poster that has been appearing next to businesses that are damaged in this way, and this is an incredible thing. It's actually justifying and excusing property damage. And there have been hundreds of these around the city after the protests. And two of the bullet items on here say, Okay, we're going to see defense of free speech in action here in a minute, apparently. So bear with me. There might be some shouting back and forth. That's okay, as long as it doesn't turn violent. So, again, this flyer defended attacks on private property.
You might have to turn the sound up. Turn it all the way up. On the microphone. I'll do it.
We'll see what they do here. We got a couple hours. There's Beth again.
You know, free speech is speaking up and saying your piece. Free speech is not shutting someone else down. It's organizing your own event and getting people to come to your own event. If you have to shut people down, that means you're afraid of them. That means you don't care about their First Amendment. You don't care about their rights.
Amen.
So let's remember that. Anybody who shuts another group down and comes to their event is for fascism, is for shutting people down, and is for totalitarianism.
If you want to keep your First Amendment rights, use them. Come out to rallies like this. Get your friends out here. If there was just half the number of people here that are here now, they would win by default. And to be honest with you, we ought to have a lot more people here now. At the last two rallies I was at, there was like 4 or 5 times as many people there as today. And that was clearly a win for us. But if we allow them to scare us away from events like this, they win by default. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who would have come to this event today who didn't, precisely because these folks threatened to be here. And a lot of folks aren't prepared to deal with that. So if they stay over there, that's fine with me. We can hear them, they can hear us, and that's cool. I don't agree with their message, but here I am, I can hear it. They don't agree with our message, but they have to listen to it. They have to let us be here and speak. So to return to the theme of my remarks, why we need police. We need police to defend and protect the First Amendment. That's my big issue. No police, no First Amendment. For us or for them. I want to give you a brief anecdote to end my remarks. At one of these Back the Blue rallies I was at, there was a protester who was on the perimeter shouting at our folks through a megaphone. And one of our folks knocked the megaphone out of his hand. At which point he ran and got the megaphone, picked it back up, and said, "I want to file a report. I want to talk to a cop so I can file a report." It's great, I got a picture of it. So the point is, they need police as much as we need police. If police go away, it's just a matter of time before they lose their rights too. So they really should be finding more common ground with us and working together with us to make the best, most accountable and responsive police force they can. We're all in this together. We all need the police. Don't defund the Constitution. Don't defund the police. Defend the Constitution. Defend the police. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And he's totally right, guys. We have a right to free speech just as they have a right to free speech. The difference that we need to remember today is that violence is not okay, and that we can have free speech as much as they have free speech. So it is perfectly fine that they are there. And we are okay that we're protesting and they're protesting. That's what we're here in America for. We have the freedom to assemble. We have the freedom of speech. It's when things get out of control, get violent, and people start getting hurt that we have a problem. And that's why we're standing here and supporting our police, because that's when they need to step in. And that's when we need their help and they need their help to keep everybody safe. So thank you again for being here. We're going to have more speakers. I would also like to remind you we are all adults here, so please behave like adults. Remember what you're here for. Remember that our future leaders, our children, are going to end up seeing this and seeing your example. So how do you want your children and the children of Washington to behave? Remember that when you have somebody else having a difference of opinion. I have a daughter who has a difference of opinion, and that is perfectly okay. Because you know what? I am proud and thankful that I raised a daughter who will stand strong and proud for what she believes in. And that is all right. We can have a difference of opinion. We are allowed to have a difference of opinion, and I am so thankful we have a difference of opinion, because this world would be really boring if we were all the same. So I am so thankful for that difference of opinion, and that we can all be here and we can peaceably assemble and we can be able to have our voices heard. So thank you again for assembling. Thank you for defending our police forces. Thank you for defending your city. Because it is us who live here. It is our police officers who live here. It is us community who live here. And we're the ones who are being affected on all ends from this. From both sides. Both sides are affected. They're hurting, we're hurting. We need to listen to each other and make sure that we are heard. And hate does not heal anything. Hate can only bring more hate. What we need to start showing is love, and that we truly do love humankind, that we love the human race, and that every human matters, and that we stand for the same things, because we stand for the ones who protect the most vulnerable. We're the ones who are going to be at your door in your darkest hour, in the time of need, that you are terrified out of your mind that something horrible has happened. And they're going to be the ones that are there to save you from that, to protect you from that, and to hopefully resolve this situation. So again, thank you so much. We're going to give you guys some time to let your voices be heard. I'm going to be on here and be supporting our police and doing some chants, and then we will get back to our speakers shortly. All right? So everybody, thank you again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, come on.
Don't touch me. I'll take it as an offense. Make it loud. Don't touch me. Make sure I'm in the screen.
Make sure he's in the screen.
What?
Make sure Adam's in the screen. Oh, he's gonna come up.
It's a wrong racist cut.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming out and backing the blue today. Yay! How many of you guys showed up to the last Antifa BLM protest to interrupt their message? Nobody. We are not the ones using the fascist tactics to shut down free speech here in Seattle, and we all see that. The people on the opposition that want to defund our police, they want to take away our protection, and we all know that the wealthy, rich neighborhoods are just going to hire their own private security. Beth was right that defunding and taking away our police affects minorities and the weakest people among us. These people are trying to shut down your free speech, and if it wasn't for our wonderful boys in blue protecting us, this event would be over already. If there is a thin blue line standing between the First Amendment in America and this, and we have to be so grateful for these people. When I grew up visiting Seattle and spending a big portion of my time here and visiting my grandparents, and my grandma and I used to ride the bus from West Seattle to downtown and visit the Pacific Science Center. That was one of my most important memories. That's the thing I look forward to every single year. I cannot do that with my own child. He calls Seattle Peattle, because every time he comes down to downtown, that's what he smells. We all see the homeless encampments, and we see people that want to raise our taxes to protect the environment while they let the environment be destroyed in our own parks. And we saw on the news just last week, one of these homeless guys, beheaded one of the Canada geese right in front of young families. I think that was here at Greenlake. Right over here. The police were not there because they're busy being being defunded and trying to defend everybody against things like this. This is so important that we all show up. Thank you all for being here. We need to defend our police. It is more important than ever. We heard the story from this guy. It's from Safe Seattle, the Facebook page, talking about how one of the protesters at the Back the Blue event had their megaphone smacked down, and immediately they went to call the police. They wanted to just use the services that they want to defund. We've seen the fake news say that these are mostly peaceful protests while our police officers' vehicles were torched in downtown Seattle and hundreds of businesses had their windows smashed. This is the year. Everybody needs to step up and make your voice heard in events like this, but also at the ballot box in November. It is vitally important that we get out and get the vote out this year. This is not a political event, but this is the most important. This is the most important cause, defending our police. And if they take away our police, you know what's going to be next. So please, keep showing up. Keep letting your voices be heard. And thank you for backing the blue here in Seattle. The blue line is the only thing protecting our beautiful Emerald City. So thank you so much for showing up. It means a lot to me.
Hate has no place. Walk away. Hate has no place. Walk away. Love everybody. Love everybody. No communism in America. No communism in America.
Yeah!
No Marxism in America.
Yeah!
Love everybody. Jewish lives matter. Black lives matter. White lives matter. Asian lives matter. Hispanic lives matter. Everybody matters. Nobody is more. Nobody is less. Everybody is the same.
Yeah!
Love everybody. Love everybody. Love wins. Love wins. Hate fails. Walk away. Love wins. Hate fails.
Thank you. Yes, he's right. Love wins. Guys, we are all human. We are part of the human race. And every single one of this human race matters. We are here to support all of human race. That doesn't mean that we don't think that other lives matter, because they do. All of them matter. The human race matters. Everything. If you stop and listen for a minute, we are saying the same thing, guys. We are saying that you matter. We matter. All of human race matters, guys. We need to stop and listen for a minute to each side. We all want things to get better, but this is not the way to make things better by hate. We need to come together and find a way to make things different. And you know what? So many times protests in the past is what has made a voice and allowed our government to say, hey, there's a problem. But you know what? We need to speak up and say, hey, look, what you're doing is not the answer to that problem. What you're doing is going to end up making the problem worse. If we are defunding our police, you are defunding the ones that are out there to save us when there is a problem. The ones who are out there that are going to keep you from getting hit by a car when you're on the freeway protesting. They are the ones that are stopping the cars from coming down the freeway so you don't get run over. And if you defund them, then they can't be there. And And you know what? We are all human. We make mistakes. There are people who make stupid decisions.
I was just
and
assaulted
you know
because of the
what?
police.
We cannot make a decision on our human race because of the minority.
I'm your biggest fan. I hope the police want to inside. Don't touch me.
Police, Mike!
Don't touch me.
Guys, remember
Dude, you're
that
making a fool
we
of
need
yourself. Get off the
to
fucking
be
stage.
the bigger people.
Stop! Stop! Do not touch me!
Oh, you poor baby.
Fuck this motherfucker right here. Don't touch me.
Nobody's touching you.
Let's defend our First Amendment, defend our police, defend our communities, defend our fellow patriots, our fellow citizens. We are here to stand for all American lives, and all American lives matter. All of the human race matters. That is what we are here for. Come on, make it loud, guys.
Yeah!
We are here for all lives, because all lives matter, including your life. Your life matters to us. We are here because every single life matters. Guys, this isn't the answer, but we do need to figure out an answer, and we need to start talking instead of screaming and yelling at each other. We need to start finding a solution. We know things went wrong.
This is the face of fascism right here. Fascism is alive and well in America, and here it is.
You can't just sit there and scream about it.
This is fascism. This is fascism right here.
We know that things went wrong. We know that
Look at all the fascists right here. Look at all these fascists.
Hey, you got something to say? Let's have it.
lead to more hate. That is going to lead to more violence because things are just going to run rampant. And that is going to trickle down into other neighborhoods outside of Seattle. So if you live outside of Seattle,
he's one of the police guys.
About that. This is going to trickle down into all of Washington. It starts in Seattle and it's going to come down into your neighborhood. You may think, oh, I don't need to worry because it's not in my neighborhood. Well, it's not in your neighborhood right now, but it will be. So remember that we stand
mental health. He's got a mental
race.
illness. This guy's a mentally ill patient.
And our police are the ones that are here protecting us. They are even here today. And they are here to ensure that both sides are safe. That nobody on our side hurts your side, and nobody from your side hurts our side. We know, we hear you, so start a conversation instead of screaming. So how is blaring the F word at me gonna make any type of a difference? Hey, guess what? I love you, and so does Jesus. I love you, and Jesus loves you too. I love every single person that is here. I don't care. I love you because you are a human being. I would stand there and I would put my life on the line for yours because that's what it means to love somebody, to love this human race, to love them so much that you would sacrifice your own. That is what our law enforcement does. And they do it every single day. And then they go home to their families and they still have that on their chest. They go through the worst days we could ever imagine. And then they take them home to their family too. And they have to live their life. They have to be daddy. They have to be mommy. They have to be sister, brother, wife, husband. They are human too. And yes, we are not perfect. There have been things that have been done by whatever race, religion, sexual orientation. There are bad people in every shape, color, form, anything. And we should not
describe an entire type of people or an organization or a type of job by the minority, the few that are bad apples. Because I can't say that I don't like a certain type of person because of something that happened to me. My sister-in-law was brutally murdered by a black man. Should I hate all black men because she was murdered? No, I will not. I will not, and I refuse, because they are human. I don't even hate that man. I do not like what he did. I love him as a human being. He made a bad decision, and it was dealt with by our justice system. Things take time. We have this justice system in place for a reason, guys. Long time ago, in 1776, when we became a nation, they decided that they needed multiple people to come together. That way, not just one person could make a decision, right? So we had an electoral college, we have other people, and this is why our justice system is the way it is. We have multiple people who are in our justice system, and it takes time to find evidence. It takes time to find answers, to make sure that people are getting the right justice, and that people who are innocent are not going to be tried, but people who are not innocent will be. In the United States of America, you are innocent until proven guilty. Last time I checked, it is innocent until proven guilty. But unfortunately right now with our law enforcement, they are proven guilty until they are proven innocent. It is automatically they are taken from their job. They are put on leave whenever there is an incident of any sort, and that needs to be investigated. And you know what? In the United States, I'm glad it's investigated, because I would want somebody to investigate and make sure that what I did was the right thing.
What is this?
All lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. It's okay, I love you still, and so does Jesus. You can use as many cuss words on me as you want. It is okay, I will still give you a hug. And I ain't afraid of the coronavirus. Because all human life matters, guys. And what you're doing is totally okay. Say your piece, but say it with respect. Be respectful. Think about your future kids. Y'all will have kids eventually. Yeah, as far as I know, I've been respectful this entire time. But you know what? It's okay. I love you. Jesus loves you. All these people here are going to be respectful to you, because we are a human race, and that's important to do. And I appreciate you guys being respectful and not being violent or angry, or any of us being violent or angry, guys. Right? Because we are adults. We are adults.
They maintain their power through propaganda, and they're applying to techniques abroad. That's infesting a lot of our culture.
I know what you think about
That's why it's been getting worse.
Yeah, they got to do something
Can I ask you, wait. Can I just ask you a quick question? So if something, I want to know if you guys were in a situation where someone was going to attack your home, your children come into your home, who would you call? Would you call that social worker to come talk that person down? If you are in distress, who do you call? Just a quick question. Will someone answer me? Anyone answer me? Defund the police! All person in Washington, every single person in America, every single person on the earth matters. Every single human being. It doesn't matter what color you are, what sexual orientation, what religion. We are all human. And you know what? God made us all. He loves us all. And regardless of the hate, I will continue to give you love. And we will only spread love. Because love is what conquers hate, guys. Right? Love is what overcomes hate. We cannot have peace until we start talking to each other instead of screaming at each other. We need to listen. I'm not screaming, I'm on a microphone. It's loud. And I did that on purpose. Okay, well, what do you want? I can't bring my microphone.
You came all the way over here from Eastern Washington. Why don't you come over here?
Hey, who was our next speaker? There was a gentleman who was here, I think he's a government official of some sort. Are you still here? Anybody else want to tell their story as to why law enforcement is important to them? Why they're out here today? Awesome. Okay.
First of all, I would like to just thank everyone for having the courage to be here. Everyone here, everyone having the courage to be here. So, my name's Jennifer. I actually am born and raised here in Seattle. I grew up coming to Greenlake all my life, going to spuds with my family, and you know, I've seen Seattle change in 40 plus years, and it's astonishing. But I digress. I have a little poem to share, and I'm dedicating it to everyone here. And love is absolutely the theme. And in my experience, those who shout the loudest need the most love. And when I see a middle finger, I actually think it's like pointing it to God and uniting us all as one, because we are all one at the end of the day. So, this is called the ripple of each thought, word, action on our mind, body, soul, all beings, the planet. Thoughts are things, words hold power. Energy is everything. We all begin the same as female. Hands grow from our heart. We are programmed by circumstance, conditioning. Choices nourish or negate, support ease or dis-ease. It's never too late to, what is your narrative? We create our own reality. What do you support? Faith or fear? Love or hate? Purity or pollution? Where we resist, persist. Silence is approval. The time is now. Unite. Speak up. Protect. Preserve. Sustain. No pain. Reclaim. Sovereignty. Accountability. Liability. We all breathe the same, and we all bleed the same. Support. That was the end of my poem. Thank you. And we all support and love each other. I love you. I love you. And I love myself. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you.
Is David from Safe Seattle still here? Did you want to finish? Do you have any? Okay. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to share? Maybe their own experience or why they're out here supporting? If you have a loved one, I will tell you that when I started this, I didn't realize how much this would mean to me. It actually started because my brother-in-law, who is a beautiful, beautiful man, who is a black man, and he wanted to stand up for law enforcement. And you know what? We came to support him and we came to support everybody, and you know what? It made a difference. And it made a difference in the lives of those who go out every day, who put their lives on the line. And I was told by multiple officers that it was probably the best morale boost that they had ever had in their life, to be able to see that they were supported by their community. Because you know what, guys? They think that they are hated. They are on suicide watch because they go home and they think that the communities that they serve hate them. And they're afraid to go out. They are having to constantly watch their back. They're constantly having to evaluate friend or enemy, friend or enemy. They have to watch every single thing that they do because we have these wonderful things called phones that live stream everything now. Even though in the state of Washington, by the way, you have to have two-party consent to record anything. By the way, to be admissible in court, it has to be a two-party consent, and I don't believe any of us consent. We do not consent to being recorded in any way. So they go home, they have to worry, they do not take their squad cars home anymore because they don't want people to know where they live because they're afraid for their families. Guys, it is the same thing on both sides, and that is what we need to hear. I started this because I had beautiful friends who stood for an amazing, amazing thing, supporting their law enforcement friends. And you know what? I have met law enforcement over and over and over again where they tell me their stories, and it breaks my heart that these men and women every day that put their lives on the line feel like they have been abandoned. They consider not doing what they have been called to do. They think about that every single day. Why am I putting on this uniform today? Oh, because this is my calling. Because there are people out there who still need me. There are still people out there who are vulnerable and need my help. That is what we stand for. That is why we are here backing the blue. We are here to defend the Seattle police. There will be no peace without police. We are here to back the blue. We are here to be heard. We love Seattle Police Department. We love our men and women in law enforcement. We love our men and women in the Sheriff's Department, in the Washington State Patrol. We love our men and women who are with every single police department in Washington State. We are here to share our love and our community. We stand for our First Amendment. And we also stand for those who will protect us when you are most needy. Please.
Well, I think there are bikes over there. I'm not sure what they're on.
Okay, I guess I get to talk for a minute. So, what you're seeing here is a contrast. You're seeing the choice that you're presented with as citizens between those folks. Sure. We're asking our folks to keep cool, not go over there to where they're at, do not interact with them. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody to start a fight with them.
Remember what I said in the very beginning, guys. guys. It's like that little brother who's not quite touching you. I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, until you punch him in the face because he irritated the crap out of you. Yeah, don't let them irritate you. That is their entire point. Hey, what do we do with our 2-year-olds when they're throwing a temper tantrum? We ignore them! So let's ignore them! And let's just keep going. They can have their thing, we can have ours. All right, thank you.
You remember what I was saying earlier about what happens when you don't have the police protecting your First Amendment rights? Well, this is what happened. I know there's some police in the vicinity. I wish they were right here, right now, to block us off from that interference over there and maybe help this gentleman get the help that he needs. But they're not, unfortunately. So we need to do better next time. So, like I was saying, we have a choice before us now. We have a choice about what kind of society that we want to live in. Do you want to live in a society run by folks like this? Do you think that they would respect your rights if they came to power? You would have no rights. If you were to ask how many people, do you support the Constitution? They would say, no. They would say, fuck your Constitution. And you can imagine what your life would be like if they were running the show. Well, the thing is, it's starting to look like they are running the show, and that's the problem. There's a very small number of them. In fact, in the entire city of Seattle, 700,000 people, this is probably all they've got on their side. This is all the people on their side. Maybe 200 people, 300 people, and yet they are steering the course of the city. Now that is very, very wrong. And that happens because of failure of government. That happens because our city council will not take a stand against them. This is happening because our city council is trying to de-police this city and leaving us with no protection against people who will take our constitutional rights away from us. So, imagine whether that's going to get better in the next few years if this trend continues. I can imagine a time when there's not a single cop on the streets of Seattle. If you think it's bad now, what's it going to be like when there's not a single cop here? You think you're going to be safer? You think you're going to be better off? I don't think so. These people are running the city. They're running the city council. So what you need to do is talk to your city council member and ask them to denounce this. Ask them to support freedom of speech. Ask them to renounce political violence. And if they refuse to do that, tell them you will not support them. Tell them you will work for their opposition. Somebody else, help me out here. Get up on stage. My voice is giving out. The other MC's voice is giving out. We need somebody to keep this mic live. Come on, help me out here, folks. Anybody can do this. If I can do it, anybody can. Here we go.
So I'm not here to and the small fact that I have a 9-year-old son who is black. And he was wearing black lives matter. He's here protecting everyone and loving everyone. So if there's something wrong that we feel is wrong, then talk about it. Don't cause drama. Don't cause conflict. Let's talk. Let's show our young black children that we can talk and get along. Let's show them that we're born for this and professional. You want your kids to grow up like this? You want them to fight and argue and hate people? No, I want my kids to love everybody regardless of their color. Regardless of what they believe. Love them any way to get along. Talk about it. Don't fight about it. Don't show conflict. Let's all get along. If you want to talk, You want to say how you feel? Then let's take turns. Let's not sit there and yell and scream. Because Black lives matter, my life matters, your life matters, everyone's life matters. You know, let's enjoy our world as it was. Let's not make it bad. Let's keep it good. Let's make it better. Let's come together as one. That's what Martin Luther King wanted, right? But what he wanted came so far from what it was. But unfortunately, his dreams can most be true. Everybody's life matters. Everybody is equal. Everybody's equal. We are equal.
If we were equal, we would not be here right now saying Black Lives Matter. We can all understand that all lives matter. That in itself makes common sense. But for some reason, when we say Black Lives Matter, hold on, when you say Black Lives Matter, it is almost enrages you. It
does not enrage me.
If we were here at breast cancer, if we're at a breast cancer event, and we're talking about breast cancer, and someone comes running in talking about lupus, it does not mean that breast cancer does not matter to that person. They're just talking about lupus. And we're like, yes, we know lupus matters. We acknowledge that lupus matters. But you would not be
I feel like that going back is no, I'm not saying that nuclear family structures, that is what we want.
No, see, that's not true. I come from a multi-racial family. I grew up in the city in a black neighborhood. It's not the colorist, it is the wicked act. It is the wicked act, not the colorist.
I'll go back to Martin Luther King. He wanted a world where people were judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin.
That is the way that's back. You remember Dr. King. If you remember Dr. King, Officer Andrew Garland came into his house and shot the Dr. King. The way you remember that? Now,
Do you remember the children that last week were killed due to what you guys are feeling and thinking that all people are resources? You guys have it all wrong. You look at us because we're at the because we're defending the flag. No, that's not true. We're out here defending everybody, regardless. You guys are only defending people with dark skin. We're defending everyone.
Somebody else. It's the blue lines, all that's different. Okay.
not take that conversation anymore.
Just the technology of money, just the invention of it. We could only have as like the world would be a much better place, most likely, if some type of corresponding now they can come like one show or something like that. Some people have no value if it's stolen. Something. Basically, that caused great harm. Imagine if you were the one
Hey yo, what it do? I just want to know why you guys lick boots. Is it true? Come on, dog, where's the facts? We could do this shit through art and just rap. I know one of you dads here got some flows. I ain't trying to spread hate though. So if you want to spit, come and grab the mic and we can kick some bars at the top and just have a discussion. I don't give a fuck if you sucking on Trump's dick or what side you was on. I just want to fucking talk. Let's have some dialogue. We should stop all the hate. So someone come through. Look at this guy. I see the motherfucking flag on your hat. You look like an average ass dad. You got a fucking flag in your pocket. We're not right. Microphone, so we got some options. If you want to talk, come through. I see you up and out too. Look at me, dog, because I'm looking at you. My name is No Shoes. It's nice to meet you. Come through. Tell me why you are at a rally for the blue. Why did you defend police? That shit is fucking weak. They kill an innocent people right up on the streets. I want to know your side. Come give me your opinion. Even if it's different, I'm a motherfucking leader. Don't take your hand off. I'm not about hate. Come and grab the mic and we can have a damn debate.
You would bring your love. That you would open the hearts of those who need to hear it, Father God, that your love would be all over your children right now. And we pray that our city would be healed, so people would be able to come together and be able to talk and be able to communicate and be able
I don't laugh as well as you do, but I have laughed a little bit.
and that know that both sides will be heard, regardless, and that truth, your truth, will be spoken, and that we will know truth, and that we will hear truth, Father God.
First, I say I appreciate this opportunity to conversate.
Together,
I came here to back the blue, that's what I do.
Together we stand. If we fall, we're going to fall
if you're
together.
gonna
And when we rise,
I'm going to tell you how I really feel. It's real. Are you ready?
Over this place right now, that you would be over
I see a bunch of dudes here wearing black. It's scary as fuck. That's where all these people are at.
Father God, that you would come and revive
okay.
and that you would cast out
we just came from a party. That's kind of how it felt to me. And then all of this got started.
Every single gender, every single religion, that God, that you would be able to bring your love and your peace on this earth, Father God, and that we would be heard.
All right.
We would open our hearts
That's what we gotta do anyway. I think it's your
listen, because because you
Hey, you didn't even really
listen,
rap.
God.
Come on, give me some
That's
bars,
why
man.
we pray and cry out to you, because you are listening.
all
And
good.
Lord,
You know
let us set aside our own pride and be able to hear the hurting, to hear what their cries are.
It's not. I'm having a
what they
dialogue with a random person I don't
what
fucking
they
know.
really want, Lord. And
All right,
that
say
those
what you
things
want,
would be
dog.
implemented. That they would
I'm
be
willing to
for
talk.
the
You're fucking a
entire
boss.
human race, and that it would be with our Constitution that stands for every single race,
See that
every
word right there? You don't know what that feels like.
gender, every
Hey, yo.
single
Right, man.
religion.
Hey.
That those constitutional rights have been put there, Father God, so that it protects every Washingtonian, regardless, and that we would be able to implement things and change that
Hey,
is
yo,
going
this
to be
dude
for the
right
good
here
of
says I'm a
all
fucking
and not
narcissist.
just some.
It's probably because
Lord,
his
that
motherfucking
you
bars
would
are shit.
come
It's fucking
in
whack.
and you would open
You
up
got
the hearts
water
of
on your
those who
jacket.
can make
I don't
things
support
happen,
things
Lord.
that
And
was
that
kind of
they
mean, but it's all
would
good. I just want to know that you
hearing
defend
your
police.
truth, that we would be able to not hear the lies that the media is telling us, the lies that are telling us about both sides, Lord, that your truth will reign free, and that your truth and the real truth will be out there about what is going on.
Either water or urine.
We are all hurting. Washington is hurting.
I think that was water. I think that one was water.
And Lord, let your blood be.
I'm going to take this down.
Let it start here, let your fire burn. Let it burn throughout the entire United States, Lord. Let your grace and your truth and your love shine through, and let us be that light. Are they going to march around or not? In the name of Jesus Christ, by the blood of Jesus Christ, we pray. All of these things in your name, amen.
Is there a march?
Why is you getting mad? It's probably
I want to film these guys for a minute. Yeah, if you want to hang on to this for a minute.
Why they are here supporting their local law enforcement, why they are here supporting Seattle Police Department.
You got on your campaign video?
It's on, yeah, it's streaming on my page. So our event has basically been taken over here by Antifa.
This is not your real man. You don't want this dude. You're always motherfucking fat. I got a six-pack, baby. That's the truth. So go home, baby. Going back to fucking Blue. I'm trying to talk to my man right here because he's smart. He's actually trying to have a dialogue at this part. So come on, dog. Step up to the mic. We could just freestyle and we could do this shit right.
It looks like our event's been taken over here.
I'm not trying to take it over, but after I started taking that over,
Actually live from the Seattle PD event here at Greenlake. It's kind of turned into a little bit of a mess, and our event has largely been taken over by Antifa marchers that showed up late to the event, obviously.
Take your facelift somewhere else. Please. I want to hear your views. What if I told you you were all so what if I told you if they keep killing innocent people up on the streets and they get more, we get in more trouble for burning down buildings than they do for killing innocent
Well, they start throwing water already to get it to come back. Somebody flash urine on me.
Yeah, there you go.
Peaceful. They want a conversation, right? While they overrun
buildings and just take innocent fucking lives. And that's what the police do.
And that's what some of the speakers what annoys me. They go over here, they ignore what's actually going on, and they give these guys fucking credit for something that's not happening when security was here that should have actually got a line. Nationwide reporting on Facebook and YouTube. Adam, good to meet you.
About Antifa property crime.
You want to give a shout out to my streamers? If you're watching. What's your group?
It's nationwide reporting on Facebook and YouTube.
Cool. Thanks for being out here.
Not a problem.
I'm going to subscribe to you.
Thank you.
That's not right.
Is it just one word?
It's all separate, nationwide and then reporting.
Cool.
All
All
separate.
right.
Do their job. But just because you're speaking doesn't mean you're helpful. You don't have to listen. Obviously you are.
Thank you for coming out and supporting our police.
I didn't realize you should be one.
We love the cops
The
here.
police got rid of you used to have to have a permit to have amplified noise, but they got rid of that because of COVID. Otherwise,
Back the blue. 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 We love the police here. The police are the ones that come and defend us. And all the people with umbrellas, they call the police when they're in need as well. And the great thing about the police is that they still show up when they're called.
Nobody here is helping anything. Nobody here is helpful. Nobody, not a single person. Not a single person is helping anything right now.
You guys hear the words of this chant? If you burn down the precincts, who are you going to call when you're in need?
This is why you guys should not be running lives, because it's not working, and it just gives people who want to burn shit down.
I don't know. We should probably work on. So the car is this path right here goes out to the intersection with the bridge. If you guys head towards that route with the speaker, then I'll follow it.
Everybody hates the KKK. Everybody. And if they don't, I mean, who doesn't hate a fascist? Nobody likes fascism. Like, nobody likes fascism. Everyone's Antifa. Everyone is Antifa. Everybody's Antifa. Nobody likes the fascists.
No, it's not the thing you mean.
And let's why not focus on we can make these everybody look better if we weren't so yelling. Everybody yelling just makes the other side it's just propaganda for the other side to like for division, you know. Why don't we just let's break who here wants to stop the property comrades?
I think we should at this point. I don't think there's much left for us to be here for. 3.
All cops are beautiful.
All cops are fascist. All cops are fascist.
Prove it. All cops are fascist. If you all cops are bastards, prove it. Let's have a conversation right now on a microphone. Mic to mic, let's prove it. Let's debate. I want to hear a conversation. I hear anybody else just yelling stupid rhetoric.
Yeah,
If somebody's right, then they should be able to prove it with conversation. Both sides.